Alright, so I know that I am pretty much guaranteed to make some people mad with this video, and honestly, I'm absolutely fine with that, but I just would like to say at the beginning of the video here, this is not a video meant to, like, attack slash target, people who enjoy playing the Storm School, right, in Wizard101. I think it's totally fine if you enjoy playing Storm. The school exists in the game for a reason, so if you want to go ahead and play the school, why not? I think that's just totally fine, but it's just not my personal cup of tea here. And let's get into why. But first, do you remember this guy right here, Dustin Stormflame? My god, it has been so long since I have quested on this cat here. I have no idea if it was just on my own or during a live stream. All I know is it's been just such a long time since I've quested up this guy, and I feel kind of bad. He's got some pretty decent stats for a level 106. He's got a pretty cool stitch and everything with that Malistaire wand, but honestly, I just have really not been motivated to quest him these past few years at all whatsoever. In fact, I think the time when I was most, or like the times when I was most motivated to quest this character was actually when I was playing with a friend. If you guys don't know, I might have mentioned this in live streams before, but it's kind of funny because originally why I created this character was because me and my friend, I think it was around like when I was in middle school or something like that, we essentially decided that we were both going to create storms and quest them up together, get to max level together and everything like that, and it was going to be a really good time. Now, unfortunately, that never came to fruition because Dustin Stormflame has been stuck at level 106 for some time, and whenever I tried to, and yeah, we've long since stopped questing together, but whenever I try to get back on him, just to solo quest, right, because this is a video mostly talking about just, storm solo questing, because that's kind of just the most common type of questing that I do personally, unless I'm live streaming, right? I just really enjoy solo questing. I love the experience. I love the strategy involved. But whenever I try to hop on this guy and try to make some progress on him and get him some levels, I just always get so demotivated just after the first few battles, and I end up quitting on him, and it's really sad. And I honestly think that is because I'm just really not a big fan of Storm's glass cannon type playstyle. Now, I understand why a lot of people do enjoy this kind of playstyle, right? Because it just helps you move through the game pretty quickly, because essentially as a Storm Wizard, just because of like how the school is just at its like base level, you're pretty much forced to, like, not every single battle, but like for a lot of major boss fights and stuff like that, you are pretty much forced to kill the boss as quickly as possible, right? Just because you have so little health and defense to work with, right? And so much offense to work with, that you are just kind of forced to hit as quickly as you can. And like I said before, this can be very useful for just getting through, your quests really quickly, and I understand that that is a lot of people's goals, so it does make sense why Storm is just a very popular school. However, I just feel like this type of playstyle, right, this type of way to, battle enemies and whatnot, I just feel like it gets really repetitive, because you're essentially putting so much emphasis on, offense and just killing all of the enemies in the battle as quickly as you can right before you die. You're just essentially putting so much emphasis on offense to where I just feel like a lot of the creativity and nuance that comes with solo questing in this game is just completely abandoned, right? Just because of the way the School of Storm is, and I just don't like that fact very much. Not to mention, Storm gets just one of the best AoEs in the game at level 28. Of course, I am talking about the spell of Tempest. Some Storm Wizards might know what I'm talking about, but you get the spell of Tempest at 28, and if you want to, if you so choose to do so, you could pretty much use that spell for every single like boss or mob fight going forward, and I mean, you can complete the game successfully, within just a reasonable amount of time. And some people like that, and I think that's totally, sorry, I don't want to get pulled by the Kraken here, whoa, but I think some people really enjoy that fact, right? And in my opinion, I just feel like that makes the school a little bit boring, and I understand that this game at its core, right, is a repetitive game. You're always just kind of going to be blading up and hitting, but I feel like Storm, and I've mentioned this, I think I mentioned this in my school's like ranked by fun tier list video, Storm just kind of takes this though to an extra extent to where it's just a little bit ridiculous, and every single fight functions almost exactly the same, and in my personal opinion, right, it just gets a little tiring to play. And hey, it's not Storm's fault that it gets some of the best AoEs, right, but when you get some of these tools, right, some of these just really overpowered spells at such a low level, to me, it just almost ruins the rest of the game. Everything just kind of becomes pretty brainless, and I think that it just, in the process, you just sacrifice so much of just what makes this game enjoyable. But all ingenuity that one might have had is just completely tossed out the window when you can pretty much just Stormlord, Tempest, or Sound of Musicology your way out of every single conflict. It's just not how I personally like to play the game. I also just never really liked the added stress of having to kill as quickly as possible just in every single big boss fight. I don't know why, it's just never been something that I've enjoyed, right? Just trying to rush through every battle. That's just not how I play the game. And that's probably more of a personal problem, and I'm gonna guess that a lot of people don't really mind that much, but I just more so like to take my time with things and just kind of think about what I'm doing a little bit. I don't know, maybe I just have slow brain syndrome, but that's just what I enjoy. Now, I've never been one to complain too much about school identity in the past, but because of the New World of Novus coming out, right, and the release of Aeon gear that came with it, every single school nowadays can just get so much damage, at least enough damage to where, right, they can just pretty much breeze through every battle relatively quickly, and I would say at max level, there's just not too much that is very special about Storm. When every school has so much damage, Storm kind of just sticks out to me as the school with just lower health and resist, and, well, for really no good reason at this point. Now, I'm not really sure what changes they could make to Aeon gear to kind of combat that problem, or even if they really should. All I know is it's just not great for Storm's place in the game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say in this video regarding the School of Storm and all of my just thoughts and opinions regarding it. Sorry to all you avid Storm lovers, just keep doing what you're doing. It's just not my personal favorite school, if that makes sense. So anyways, though, hope you did enjoy regardless. You could always leave a like or subscribe if you did. I would appreciate that very much, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream, whenever that may be. So take care and peace out, everyone.